When it's time for an adventure on the open highway, one quick call to American Family Insurance gets you headed in the right direction. Our travel peace of mind package is there if you encounter a bump in the road. From roadside assistance to rental car coverage, we have you covered. Find a local agent or get a quote at amfam.com.
American Family Insurance.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard the tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back, legally, on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
We're the mighty 99.9 KISW and KISW HD1 Seattle. An Odyssey station. This is the mighty starring BJ and Migs mornings.
Because, hey, at least once a day, you should experience a BJ.
You know, I'm ready for my BJ.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. As you know, the Foo Fighters are planning an all-star lineup for their Taylor Hawkins tribute concert at Wembley Stadium in London. And, of course, it's in memory of Taylor, who passed away suddenly in March of this year.
Yeah, they're doing an LA Forum show, and then they're also doing the one in Wembley, which is just insane, Wembley Stadium.
Yeah, and the Wembley one has got Liam Gallagher showing up,
Yep.
Chrissy Hind of the Pretenders fame, and she's so good. Brian May, Dave Chappelle's going to be there, and this is putting a smile on my face. 12-year-old Nandi Bushell, who had those viral videos that she did, the drum battles with Dave Grohl.
Cutest kid ever. She's so adorable on those drums, and just like has won over so many people's hearts just because of her energy and her love for music, and obviously Dave Grohl being one of them, and Taylor too as well. They brought her out and performed with the Foo Fighters in the past, and she's been hooked up with drums by like Ludwig drums and getting endorsement deals. It's insane what's happened with her over the last few years.
Here she is announcing that she's going to be playing with the Foo Fighters.
Mr. Grohl, it would be an honor to join you on stage at Wembley Stadium in tribute to my hero and friend, the legendary Taylor Hawkins. With these sticks he gave me, I'm going to rock harder than I've ever rocked in my entire life. Our night will be the greatest show in rock history. This one's for you, Taylor.
I mean, how do you not love this kid?
It's a feel-good moment right there, yeah.
How do you not love this kid?
Plus, she's using the drumsticks that Taylor Hawkins gave her. That's a nice touch.
Yeah, and I didn't know. I mean, she said, my friend Taylor. I mean, I only really know about all the interactions she had with Dave. So but of course, I'm sure Taylor treated her really well because, of course, she's drums, and that is. It's a horrible, it was horrible hearing the news about Taylor, but some of the cool stuff that happens sometimes because of moments like this, this is definitely one of them.
And that would definitely be one where it's always, you always kind of have to wonder when people speak on behalf of someone who's no longer around, but that feels like a no-brainer. Like if Taylor Hawkins was able to catch wind of what was going on in honor of him, that's one where it's like, yep, you guys are doing it right. Because there was a lot of love for Nandi through the Foo Fighters. They brought her on stage, like I mentioned. She did some stuff with Dave Grohl, and obviously has there's a lot of love from that band for what she does for music at such a young age.
Gotta think at this point, if I'm her, I'm quitting school. I mean, I know what my life is, right?
School. You're taking, yeah.
I mean, I know what my life is.
Education.
Yeah, I mean, really, I've got to be thinking that she could write her ticket almost in any way, shape, or form in the world of music. Who's not going to want her in their band?
Quit school. This is why.
It's
better off that she has her dad than you as her dad.
Jeez. Look, you go to school for one reason, so that you can get yourself set up for a career and make yourself financially set. That's the whole idea to go to school. What's the point of going to school? I mean,
or have a backup in case the whole music thing falls on its face in the future.
What if her hands fall off?
Yeah, well, then she can go. Then she can go back to school and she can learn. She can get her GED, right? Everybody gets a GED, and then from there she can go to college.
But then it's gonna be really hard without those hands because she can't do stuff on computers. So it's better if she does it while she still has the hands.
Okay, well, this is a very specific situation.
No, but here's the thing: when she loses her hands, then she just gets prosthetic hands that just are drumsticks, and she becomes even more powerful than before.
It's like that movie with that Grindhouse where the lady had a leg that was like a machine gun.
Hell yeah, dude.
McGowan, yeah. So I mean, why not have a Grindhouse pair of hands to play, and also fight the bad
Yeah,
guys?
BJ, you're right. Screw education.
Yeah.
Who needs that?
I mean, look, in this particular instance, if somebody isn't already saying, look, we want you to be somehow involved in something, I mean, she's amazing. Already at this age, she's amazing. Of course, her drumming skills, and she can be like the front man in a way. She's got so much personality.
Well, she also plays other instruments. Like she plays bass, plays guitar.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this kid's, I mean, come on.
Yeah, her dad must obviously be a musician. Well, yeah, because I've seen videos of like him playing the guitar with her and strumming along. It's really cute.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard him say, hey, screw, algebra and math and
I think it's
science. Just learn drums and guitar.
Yeah,
kid.
I think it's time.
Kid.
Look, don't get me started on, I don't know about the English school system, but I feel like her time best spent now is finding a way to get in and become...
rocking.
Yeah, it's just rocking I'd put her in a band right now. Whatever band I have, I'd be like, hey, if you have to replace a drummer, if I'm Foo Fighters, I'm like, I'd sign Nandy up for every tour if we decide to stay together as a band.
I don't know if they're planning on it, and I don't know if necessarily the Foo Fighters want to have, how old is she, 8?
No, she's 11-ish, I think, right?
Isn't
she 11, 12
tell
now?
ages unless it's like 2.5. Oh, she's 12. My bad.
2.5.
I'm learning this whole how old is our kids now that I'm a dad, Rev. I mean, before that I could never tell.
Oh yeah, I get it. I understand.
She's 12. The band doesn't want to go on tour with a 12-year-old as their drummer.
I mean, it's not like that. Foo Fighters have already done what they've done. Dave Grohl seems like, of course, I'm reading his book, so he just seems like, I think in this stage of his life, if he decided to go on, I don't think that would be a half a bad idea for Dave Grohl, where he's at in his life now. Now, if it was 10 years ago, Steve, I would agree with you. Like, who wants to be running around doing that?
It feels like kind of like a Cousin Oliver situation. You bring in like the cute kid to do the final tour sort of thing.
But I mean, she's got so much history, and they love her, and she's talented.
I did.
Really, Cousin Oliver. That's a slap in poor Nandy's face. She's
much
great.
better than
She's
Cousin
awesome,
Oliver, but she could do her own thing.
And that would go over the head of anyone under the age of 40.
I know, old man relate.
Wow, that was really horrible. I can't think of a new relate where they brought some new kid on a show. Oh, maybe Baby Joey on Modern Family. I mean, because that was a late addition to that show. But even then, you'd have to watch.
See, I'm only tracking with Rev's relate. I don't watch Modern Family.
Yeah, well,
2.5 Men when they got rid of Charlie Sheen and they got the more attractive Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
In a sort of weird way. Yeah. That didn't go well either.
I legit would be shocked, first of all, if the Foo Fighters did continue to be a touring band. Like, I think they might do some moments like this where it's like tributes or like one-off kind of things. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's a tough person to replace, Taylor Hawkins, both as just a drummer and also as a person that was in their lives. I mean, that was Dave's best friend. So
yes.
That's a big switch to go from having like your best friend, like your drummer for the last however many years, and replace him with a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah, I would say that.
As great as Nandy is, I don't foresee that happening.
But I think when you think about it, though, what better person if you decide to go on, Steve? I'm with you. I don't know if they're going to go on, but if they do decide to go on, I can't think of anybody that he could choose that would be better just because of the feel-good moment. And like she said, Taylor, seemed to take a shine to her as well. And she can get, by the way, she wouldn't have to quit school. She'd get tutored just like they do for young actors. When kids are in movies, they tutor them. And that's, I'm telling you, man.
Screw it. Have Nate the bassist be your teacher on the road, man.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you're Foo Fighter, you're at that level that, it's different than, touring as a band when, you're starting out.
How about though you're 12 years old and one day she's going to go back to wherever it is, school or a function or a get together with some of her 12-year-old friends. And like, what did you do yesterday? Well, I played with the Foo Fighters at Wembley Stadium.
I know.
What did you do? I went to a bounce house and jumped around on a trampoline.
Ooh, bounce house.
I went to a bounce
Those are fun.
You really, they're okay, but 12-year-olds also might be doing other stuff, Steve. You know, not just doing that's kind of a toddlery thing. Not the 12-year-olds.
Again, I don't have a frame of reference for 12 yet. Give me 10 years.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know what 12-year-olds do for fun.
I mean, the Stranger Thing kids were fighting Demogorgons, I think, at 12 years old. I mean, a lot of stuff going on at 12.
All right, that's kind of almost as epic as playing Wembley Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, but Steve's just like, everybody's a toddler until every kid does the same thing as long as they're the same age as his kid. That's all he knows. Yeah. They're waiting for their father to buy them a lovely unicorn pool. That's where they're going to be.
Damn straight.
Yeah, what did you do? My daddy and I were in a unicorn pool. I was drumming for the Foo Fighters because her voice is deeper. You know?
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
So I
Yeah.
did that.
Well, Tam's got a new song that's like her new favorite song, which I think
Oh, really? Yeah,
fantastic, because you got me a Father's Day card, and you open. It's one of those ones where you open and it makes music.
Oh boy!
So first of all, she has to let me know she got it at Target because Target's her favorite store. So she's going, "Daddy, I got this at Target."
She's already a brand girl.
Yeah, dude. If you go on I think it's on my. I think I put it on my Instagram. If there's a picture of her, but if you go through a couple of the pictures on the slideshow, there's one of her trying to kiss the dog from Target. Like the statue dog.
Bullseye. Spot.
Yeah.
Or Bullseye, whatever his name is.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Like I'm legit. I'm like, you kissed this damn dog more than you want to kiss your own father. Like, this is crazy. I'm like jealous of the stupid dog.
Well, I mean, Bullseye does look cute in that.
It's adorable. Yeah. So I stole it. Now she has it at home. It's great. Don't tell.
Oh, okay.
But she had to make it a point. So she opens up the car and it does it does a hot, hot, hot song.
Oh.
So now Buster Poindexter's Hot, Hot, Hot is our favorite song.
Oh, wow. That's funny.
Yes.
That is very, very funny.
I forgot that song even existed until that stupid card. And now it's like, it's all we've been listening to.
Oh, man. And this is, she's starting to really realize, okay, days. So, like, this is probably the first one that she's really been, able to participate and really make it look like she cares about you as a father.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Was she excited to give you the card?
Very.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she was very excited about it. But more excited to tell me that it came from Target.
Of course, yeah.
So when we went to Walmart to go get the pool, we had to then go to Target because she's like, well, if we're going to stores, we got to go to Target.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got to get that done.
Yeah.
How, and
she got an American flag at Target for $1. We left Target spending $1.
Nice.
Which is I think the best we've ever done.
Wow.
Yeah.
You usually walk out of there spending way more when you go in to spend $1.
Well, we spent over $100 the day before.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
it's not.
Yeah, that's How did you told us that she accidentally brought out your Father's Day gift before you were supposed to see it? Did you act surprised, or how did that go? With I guess it was a coloring project or something?
Yeah, it's just a dinosaur like a wood dinosaur that she painted. No, she was more excited about the card, BJ. Like the dinosaur was just like an afterthought almost. Like, here's this too.
Yeah.
Which she also got I think she got the wood part at Target though.
Ah, well, there you go. Well, you know what? It sounds like they really want you to know just Target that. Even though it's your day, remember Target.
We park and she's like walking with purpose. Like, she's like, I'm going to Target. Which I get. Target's fun.
Well, they got a lot. I mean, they have a good toy section.
Everything.
They got the toy section. They got the dog you can kiss. I mean, what do you need?
I almost bought a Tupac shirt. I was like, my wife's like, why are you getting a Tupac shirt? I'm like, you know what? You're right. I don't need this Tupac shirt. I don't need another black T-shirt.
Because it's here. That's why.
Right. I was like, it's just cool looking.
You tell these stories, and it really is good that your wife goes with you to a lot of places you shop at.
Yeah, we'd be very broke.
Because even I'm like, what do you need that shirt for? I mean, really.
I didn't have a good enough answer. It wasn't like I needed, I didn't have any no, this shirt means something. Like, when I was a kid, I saw this shirt. My mom and dad would never buy it for me, so now I want it. Like, there was no other reason other than I was like, it just looks cool.
Of course, I'm a hypocrite because I did get 2 Mariners T-shirts yesterday for Father's Day.
Look at you.
Nice.
I don't have any Mariners T-shirts. It's whenever I bought anything Mariners, it was always a jersey.
Were they on sale because the teams, they said they'll lower the prices if the team doesn't score?
Yeah, really, I hope so. I didn't ask the price because you're not supposed to do that on Father's Day.
Yeah.
But yeah, unlike you, Steve, I like different color T-shirts, so it was good because it filled out a bit of my collection. I was like, I don't have enough of that color. That's perfect. All right, there you go.
Danny went to the Mariners game for Father's Day.
He went on the field.
What I want to
Fancy
know
ass.
is, Danny, the picture I saw, it looked like you and Lily were on the field. So I'm wondering, how long did it take before you were thrown out of the stadium?
We weren't.
You're not supposed to go on the field, Danny. I don't think you're supposed to do that.
They invited us down.
How did they? Wait, did the moose come up to you?
No, unfortunately, the moose did not come up to us. I wish he would have.
The moose is the liaison.
Yeah, he just has like the invitation.
We can't. All right, we need to talk to that guy. Yeah, but I don't know if he's going to talk to us. Get the moose. He'll talk to us.
Have you talked to the moose yet? The moose has got the hookups.
So how did you and Lily get on the field?
Yeah, no, we got there and we were walking through the crowd to our seats, and this lady came up to us and she's like, "Hey, are you? Is this your daughter?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like,
She'd be like, "No,
it is my daughter, I promise." And she's like, "We're looking for a father. Like, is this you two?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "You guys are decked out in Mariners gear. You look great. Would you guys like to come on the field and welcome the Mariners onto the field when they run out?" And we're like, "Yes." And Lily's eyes were just bugging out of her eyes. And she's like, "You guys are perfect. Follow me." So she guided us down there. And there was maybe about 5 other dads and daughters and sons down there. And we got to go down. We got to stand on the field during the national anthem and during the Black national anthem as well, which was really cool.
that's right, because they're celebrating Juneteenth."
Yeah, it was Juneteenth yesterday. And literally, we were probably 10 feet away from J.P. Crawford as he was warming up.
Did you tell him I'm his biggest fan?
You know what? He did not. I tried to tell him that. He just kept walking by me. Yeah, he did not.
Rude.
Yeah.
They were so focused. It's crazy how focused they are when they're like warming up.
On losing?
On losing. Yeah, apparently.
Yeah,
And
I
then-
feel like you could have had any kind of conversation since they didn't score any runs. You wouldn't have hurt any runs.
I know.
scoring
Like,
potential.
come on, sign a jersey, guys.
Yeah.
Sign a ball.
Maybe after the game they would. But
Yeah.
okay, fine.
No, but then it was cool because then we got to go over to the dugout, and as they ran out onto the field, they gave us all high fives, and it was funny because
Awesome.
Winker was like kind of like late running out of the dugout, and so he's like, "Wait for me, guys!" and came up and gave Lily a big high five, and she was so happy.
Oh, he didn't miss when he tried to give her the high five. did
No, he did not.
I was trying to think of something not nice to say
There
for
was.
his performance, but you know,
Boom.
BJ got it.
Thank
But
you,
it was
buddy.
so awesome, so awesome.
And then what did they do? They said, they just escort you back out.
Yeah, they all
Beat it?
No, Steve. They let Danny go in the dugout and manage the team.
I thought Lily was the umpire. I
mean,
was like, I'm
we
pretty
probably
sure
would
she
have
was
done
the one-
better.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, they just said thank you, and they all gave us high fives, and everyone, like as we're walking back up to the concourse, everyone was giving us high fives on the way up. It was so incredible.
What are the odds? You're just walking around and some random person from the Mariners is like, "Hey, would you like to come on the field?"
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it was so awesome. A memory that both me and her will never forget.
Well, I don't know. I mean, was she 8? She might forget this.
Yeah, she won't forget it.
Yeah.
Is she like 12 or something like that? No.
Is she 2? Because I feel like that's, if she's 2.5, that's all Steve knows. Well, that's awesome, Danny. And now I feel badly because whenever I went to stadiums, I always wore Red Sox gear, which, of course, that probably is why we never got asked to the field.
Yeah, they're not going to bring you to the field if you're in the
they're
opposing
not.
team's jersey.
And I had Joey, who was always a cute little kid, decked out in whatever, but I always had him decked out in Red Sox gear. So this is why we never got invited on the field anywhere. Oh, man. Oh, well. That's it.
Well.
Yeah, I failed as a father on Father's Day. Well, congratulations, Danny.
Thank you. It was great. It was so much fun.
We have audio of just how crazy good artificial intelligence is getting. It's going to scare Steve because he's afraid of Skynet.
I'm already scared.
Yeah, and this audio involves Jerry Seinfeld, and you're going to hear it at 8:17 on The Rock.
Simple is a card that earns me rewards with no annual fees.
Simple is 1.5% cash back on all of my purchases.
It's a card where I earn cash rewards with no confusing point system and no surprise fees.
I can even get a $300 cash bonus just for spending $3,000 on purchases in my first 3 months.
And that's why I love my cashback Visa credit card from BECU.
Because BECU wants what's best for me. And sometimes the best things are simple.
Contact BECU at 800-233-2328 for current product and rate information.
You're listening to BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. All right, you got to listen to this audio because, artificial intelligence, I'm not too sure if this is exactly what this is. Maybe it's partly artificial intelligence, but This still sounds pretty amazing. Like you would think this was the real dude talking because.
But the artificial intelligence in this is that the artificial intelligence created the jokes for Jerry Seinfeld.
Okay, this is what I'm really looking forward to see. How the jokes go. And then what happened is that somebody took a deep fake voice, and deep fake is a way to be able to make something sound or look like something that isn't the case. Like people did it with that face app that people had where they could put their face on something.
Which is so trippy because it does look good.
Yeah. And so we got a deep fake Jerry Seinfeld voice, and we have a computer artificial intelligence generated routine. And again, what you're about to hear is not Jerry Seinfeld. This is a computer and a deep fake voice.
Why does it seem like every time you're watching TV, there's a commercial for a new brand of cat food, and it's always some kind of crazy new flavor, like tuna and salmon surprise? I don't need a new flavor of cat food every other week. Just tell me what was so bad about the old ones. They were great. And why are they always trying to trick us with these new flavors? They'll be like, we know you like tuna, so we put some tuna in this can, but we also put some other stuff in there too. I don't want to have to guess what's in my cat food. I just want it to be tuna. That's it. Just tuna. No surprises.
Well, first off, I would say, wow, Jerry, you really having some issues writing some new material.
In all fairness.
What's the deal?
Could we listen to it again? Maybe we added like a laugh track. Because that's really what, I mean, it's missing.
Oh, you think if there was a laugh track, it would be better?
Yeah, I think if people were laughing, it would sound just like any other Jerry Seinfeld routine.
All right, let me see.
Why does it seem like every time you're watching TV, there's a commercial for a new brand of cat food, and it's always some kind of crazy new flavor, like tuna and salmon surprise? I don't need a new flavor of cat food every other week. Just tell me what was so bad about the old ones. They were great. And why are they always trying to trick us with these new flavors? They'll be like, we know you like tuna, so we put some tuna in this can, but we also put some other stuff in there too. I don't want to have to guess what's in my cat food. I just want it to be tuna. That's it. Just tuna. No surprises.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't still work.
I'll run this joke past Frank and Carl, see how they feel about it.
Do they connect with it?
Yeah, see if it's a good cat joke. But yeah, it seems to fall flat for me over here.
You know, I would say that I was listening to, and I would think, though, that I was just listening to a bit on my internet, and I just didn't have the greatest connection, or they didn't have the greatest way of presenting the audio to me. That's the only thing I noticed. It didn't sound super clean audio-wise, but I would think, oh, maybe because it's being played over a computer or something.
But that is so weird. Like, that just seems like that's so troublesome. Because, sometimes we have... Jerry Seinfeld left me a really a weird voicemail of him hitting on my wife, and I have proof of it because you know what I mean. Like you can manipulate that audio to make someone think that it's true. That seems like that could lead down a really weird path.
I agree, Steve. Man, if you can deep fake anybody, boy, oh boy, and you're in court. We've got the evidence right here. Here's the phone call, and it's like that's not how the phone call went. And how do you prove that it's, I guess they'll have ways of being able to check out if something's deep faked or not, I hope.
On the flip side, we can now have interviews with Jerry Seinfeld whenever we want.
Oh, good point.
I don't know what he has to say. It's we'll be like, what do you think? What were you thinking talking about cat food? And then we could have this nice chat with him.
Well, that's the good news about all that is think of a guy like Val Kilmer, who,
yes.
You know what, therefore, he could type stuff out and then his voice would come out. That's something, when I think of Stephen Hawking back in the day, you just had that mechanical voice, but now you'll be able to have your real voice at least be, speaking for you. That's kind of cool.
Or was it Steve Gleason, the dude that's battling ALS, used to play with the WSU and then went on and played for the New Orleans Saints.
Oh, yes.
Just an incredible story. The documentary about him is pretty intense. I think it's called No White Flags, if I remember correctly. But he recorded hours upon hours of his voice, so that way because he has kids, that way when he knew eventually he's going to have to be speaking through a robot or through a computer, that way at least it's still his voice.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
But nowadays, he probably didn't have to spend all those hours doing that.
Yeah, you're right. And I'm hoping people can grab stuff from the radio show that I'm doing here, and then they can, if that happens to me. Of course, my kids probably won't want to hear my voice. My wife is probably done with it, too, so they probably won't request it.
They'll just prefer text, and that, at least you can just be like, yeah, this is for BJ, I swear.
Here's what I want to know, man. And spoiler alert if you haven't seen the latest episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi, but, it dropped, Wednesday, was it?
Yeah.
So, hopefully you've seen it, but What people were complaining about was there was a flashback scene which featured Hayden Christensen, who played Anakin way back in 1999 when he was doing all that stuff, or playing. Well, actually, maybe in the early 2000s, he was playing young Anakin, and they had the flashback, but it was pretty much like Anakin right now. Hayden is what, in his 30s, almost 40s, I think.
Oh yeah, it definitely looked like the 40-year-old Padawan.
Yeah, and so somebody went on YouTube and just deep faked it themselves and said, here's how I made Anakin look like a younger dude, and it looked really good. They
did that when with the Luke reveal with the Mandalorian. Like, somebody went out there and redid the deep fake that they did, and it looked way better.
Yeah. And this one, of course, they didn't even try to DH, Hayden Christensen. They just said, we're going to make him look old. And so this dude said, why wouldn't they DH the guy? They did it with Luke Skywalker. I mean, why wouldn't they even...
Financial constraints. Like, here's his little Padawan braid. He's a young kid at this point. Just go with it, guys.
But if some YouTube guy can do it, why can't Disney do it for cheap? Like, this guy just threw it up there, I guess, using software that's available to anybody.
It's crazy because I feel like that's just going to enable, like, all the shady celebrities and politicians. If they do something that gets caught on video, they're like, wasn't me. That's a deep fake.
Yep.
Yeah, again, hopefully, like you said, Steve, I hope it works both ways, that we can tell if something's deep faked or not, or we're all in trouble.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, at some point, like, someone's going to be able to use that as an alibi or an excuse, and we're like, well, I mean, he could be telling the truth, or she could be telling the truth. We don't know.
Yeah, that's when you're going to have a guy that runs that and sees that it's a fake. Like, they know. They'll have some sort of technology
like
to
the deep fake
that.
Police.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Yeah, the DFP, which sounds something really bad.
I don't know about that one, yeah.
No, look it up. Speaking of television and stuff, did you know there was a Sesame Street episode that received so many parent complaints for being too scary for their kids that basically they never ran it again? They shelved it for 50 years.
Yeah, it was when Oscar got hooked on heroin. It was a crazy episode. Didn't realize that was what was in the garbage.
Yeah,
dark,
that's.
I mean,
we should have suspected. I mean, when you take a look at the dude, he looks like
when Cookie Monster started eating humans instead of cookies, that was a weird episode too.
Yeah. Again, at the time they thought, well, kids should really learn about the realities of life. You get hooked on stuff. This is what you do.
Watch out for cannibals, kids.
Yeah.
No, I had no idea there was an episode that was like hidden or banned or anything along those lines.
And I haven't seen this episode, but just telling you about it, it just goes to show you, what kind of world it was back in 1976. It's like, it really is a long time ago, and people just had different sensibilities to the point where people thought this was shocking and scary, and we don't want our kids to see this. It featured Margaret Hamilton, and you may not know who she is, but she plays an iconic character that you know, and that is, of course, the green-faced Wicked Witch of the West from The Wizard of Oz. And so she showed up on Sesame Street, and she loses her broom on Sesame Street, so she has to learn the importance of using the word please and treating others with respect in order to get it back. And still, this was considered too scary of an episode. Here's how the audio went.
Lady, look, you got to be more careful with this broom. Wait a minute.
It's my broom.
What? That may be true. You do, because that thing almost came right out. It came out of the sky and almost hit me right in the head.
Well, that was the wind. It was not me.
Well, you have to be more careful.
Well, that doesn't do with be careful.
Calm down. You can't have the broom until you come.
Let me have it.
You can't have the broom until you show me a little respect.
Oh, yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Oh, I forgot. I can't so much as lay a finger on that broom as long as somebody else is holding on to it.
Yeah, so
it's weird seeing the video of this now, because when I was a kid, though, the Wicked Witch freaked me the F out. Watching Wizard of Oz. And so I can understand why, like, some kids were just like, yo, I can't handle this.
That entire movie was just scary for me as a child, because, like, even, like, the lion, it just, looked too real as, like, a person, but then was, like, supposed to be an animal.
The flying monkeys, too, everything about it. But, like, so I can almost understand now looking at it, it's laughable how silly it looks.
Right.
Yeah, and yet at the time, that this was so scary, they were like, we can't ever show this again.
Well, yeah, because it's freaking out little children. And that's
it's so weird, though. Like, little children today would go, that is such crap. What is that? I mean,
I don't know.
The effects are bad.
I don't know. Kids still get scared by, like, Santa and clowns and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you well.
I mean, look at Taylor. She was freaked out when she saw you. I'm like, he's not the Wicked Witch.
Yeah.
He's just really, really old.
Yeah. He is Gary Ridgway, though.
That's great. Thank you.
You're like, Daddy, who's Gary
Thank
Ridgway?
you very much.
The Wicked Green River Killer.
Easy for you to say.
Quiller.
All right. Well, you know what? You are all very nice people.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wow. So you guys still think, yeah, man, I get scared of that? Because I remember little kids in England would get scared at the Daleks, which were basically trash cans on Doctor Who's with plungers. I mean, they were the dumbest looking things ever. I don't know if you can pull up a Dalek for Steve because he probably doesn't know.
It's a robot.
But he was they had no money.
He looked like a salt shaker.
Yes.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah. Those things are still pretty creepy looking.
But it had a plunger for an arm. And seriously, I mean, they had no money. And yet kids would hide behind the couch back in the 60s when they saw this damn thing. And I mean, now you look at it and you go, I don't think any child would be like, well, who cares about this thing? I mean, they do have them on the new Doctor Who show and they did update them a little bit, but they still, have the same plunger. But I wonder if kids still are as afraid of that as they were back in the 60s.
But the Wicked Witch had a weird look. The green face, you made that like scowl. I mean, as an adult, very laughable, very silly. But as a kid, I could still, like, if I worked at Sesame Street and after seeing that, I'd be like, what were we thinking? Like, why did we put her in this episode? The show is for children.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why did we need, I know it's like, dude, we got a celebrity to be a part of Sesame Street. Oh, who? The Wicked Witch of the West. Why?
But the movie was out for, like 37 years, and I remember watching it as a kid. Like I had already been exposed to whatever I would think of it. So seeing her show up on Sesame Street wouldn't be. I don't think it would be the first time I would have seen her, but maybe I'm wrong. Because that's what we played all the time.
Yeah, but she looked about the same age.
Yeah.
We're talking about
Margaret Hamilton. No, that was 1939 when The Wizard of Oz came out.
Really?
So, yeah, so that was almost 30 years
for
later.
a Wicked Witch of the West.
Well, that's a rubber mask I think they got on her.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
I thought they just slapped some green paint on her face.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe. I thought that was kind of a rubbery looking thing, but I could be wrong. But even still, you slap paint on somebody, it kind of does de-age them a little bit.
Yeah, slather up with some green paint. I guess you don't really notice all the wrinkles and stuff.
Exactly.
That's the key, the fountain of youth, BJ. We need to be green-faced.
Wow. Okay.
No?
Again, yeah. So
you try that.
Oh, she definitely.
I remember growing up with that. Like, didn't you saw The Wizard of Oz, didn't you, when you were growing up?
Yeah, and it freaked me out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wouldn't freak you out to see her on Sesame Street, or do you think you'd still get freaked out if you saw her?
If I was a kid.
Yeah?
As an adult, no, but if I was like a 6-year-old, I probably would be a little freaked out by it.
I guess my point being in 1976, how would you probably already showed your kid The Wizard of Oz. That's why I think it's so bizarre, because it was shown to me when I was a kid. It's kind of a kid's movie. Really? I always thought that's what it was. We all watched it as kids.
But if something freaks you out,
mushrooms are involved.
But if something freaks you out as a kid and you're watching it, and then that thing that freaked you out is on your favorite show, you would still be freaked out by it. It doesn't mean that it magically is okay now.
Yeah.
It's just now this freaky thing is now on your show, still freaking you out.
Right.
It is weird, though, what will scare a kid and what won't. At least with my little brother, he's 3. He loves, like, Halloween decorations, like the big wolf man, everything that pops up, like, at the stores during Halloween time. He'll watch these creepy-ass, like, Pac-Man videos where they have, like, these sharp teeth, and they're all eating each other with ghosts. But I put on Monsters, Inc., and that freaked him out. Like, he has no problem with something that I would find creepy, and most adults would find creepy, but Monsters, Inc. freaked him out.
What about Skeletor? I mean, Skeletor's a creepy-looking guy, and you all watched him when you were kids. I just feel like there's plenty of, like, creepy-looking bad guys that we were exposed to as kids. That's why did the parents go nutty over this? But, all right, I guess they did, because they had to shelve her for 50 years. Maybe, but of course,
they probably forgot, too, at some point.
Yeah.
Like, they forgot the episode even existed.
I think you're right about that.
Yeah.
Of course, I showed Joey Starship Troopers at a too young of an age, so maybe I'm not the best example.
You are a monster, sir.
Yeah, I am.
If you look at the zoomed-in version of her, she definitely shows her age.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's scary.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I mean, what do I say? I mean, my daughter right now is scared of a blender. I mean, so.
Dude, blenders are scary and noisy, man.
Yes. It's like we have to find the perfect time to get that blender going. Like, if any meal involves a blender, we're just like, what do we do to distract her?
Does she cry and stuff, like, when it comes on?
She just yells. Ah!
I will out yell this blender.
For a moment, she was okay with it because the blender led to like having like a kind of a frozen treat. So she was like, okay, I'm cool with this. But then, God forbid you make something that's not that frozen treat, then she's back to being pissed at the blender.
Oh. Yeah, maybe because she knows she's getting some healthy stuff and she doesn't want any of that.
She's like, what are you making? As there's leaves in it. Like, this is stupid.
No, get it out of here. Get it out. On Friday, Steve did get this one wrong.
In the movie Jurassic Park, what animal was used to lure the T-Rex?
Tyrannosaurus.
No.
Bunny.
No.
Bird.
No.
Yeah, it was not that. And what did they use to lure people to see what the new Jurassic Park movie is? The promise of a good movie. The correct answer is goat, by the way. You want a shot at beating Steve? You got it. 206-421-ROCK. We're playing Beat Me at 847 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. I owe a lot of back taxes. Can bankruptcy help me?
Bankruptcy can discharge back taxes under certain circumstances. Some types of taxes are never dischargeable, like if you have taxes from an employee, if you ran a business and didn't pay employee taxes or sales taxes. Those types of taxes cannot be discharged in bankruptcy. However, most people don't have those kind of taxes. Most people have just regular income taxes. If you owe income taxes and you filed your tax returns but just weren't able to pay the taxes, if the taxes are more than 3 years old and you filed the tax returns, those types of taxes can be discharged in bankruptcy in most circumstances, especially through a Chapter 13 case.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.
When it's time for an adventure on the open highway, one quick call to American Family Insurance gets you headed in the right direction. Our travel peace of mind package is there if you encounter a bump in the road. From roadside assistance to rental car coverage, we have you covered. Find a local agent or get a quote at amfam.com.
American Family Insurance.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.